For 2 years, Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch used incredibly blurry photos to unsuccessfully try to sell this 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath cabin on a 40-acre property in Colorado, purposefully built right along the Colorado River to be an ideal fishing getaway. Politico reports today that just 9 days after Gorsuch was confirmed by the Senate to our nation's highest court, 9 days later, Neil Gorsuch got an offer. The chief executive of one of the nation's biggest law firms, Greenberg Traurig, bought this ideal fishing getaway. Gorsuch reported making somewhere between $250,000 and $500,000 from that sale, but federal disclosure records show Gorsuch never disclosed the identity of the purchaser. Despite the fact that Gorsuch in the past has disclosed who bought him a fishing rod, he did not disclose who bought his literal fishing cabin. Since then, that chief executive law firm has been involved in 22 cases before the court. In 12 of those cases, Gorsuch himself has a recorded opinion. He sided with Greenberg Traurig 8 times and against them 4 times, but he has never recused himself. Now, the chief executive of this law firm, the guy who bought the property, he told Politico he did not know Neil Gorsuch was one of the owners when he made his first offer, and that the fact that Gorsuch was going to be a Supreme Court justice was absolutely irrelevant to the purchase of the property. Gorsuch himself did not respond to Politico's questions about this sale. NBC News has reached out as well, and we have not yet heard back, which is okay then. This kind of sale and this lack of disclosure and lack of recusal would be a massive ethics problem for basically any other official in our government. But the Supreme Court plays by its own rules, and that is becoming more and more untenable. For example, if you look again at Justice Gorsuch's sale of this ideal fishing getaway in Colorado, not only is the sale pretty questionable, so are the sellers themselves, the folks Justice Gorsuch sold this house with. Gorsuch owned and sold that property with 2 other people, a man named Kevin Conwick and a man named Cannon Harvey, men the New York Times describes as 2 of the top lieutenants of a very particular billionaire. This man, Philip Anschutz. Anschutz inherited an oil and gas fortune and used that money to build an empire that stretches from oil and gas to sports leagues to real estate. The New York Times reports that Gorsuch represented Anschutz himself as outside counsel for several years in the early 2000s. Anschutz is also notably the owner of the very right-wing news outlet, the Washington Examiner, as well as a major Republican donor. The Times reports that in 2006, Anschutz successfully lobbied Colorado's lone Republican senator and the Bush administration to nominate Gorsuch to the federal appeals court, after which Justice Gorsuch became a semi-regular speaker at Anschutz's annual hunting retreats. Now, if all of this talk about hunting retreats and so forth is giving you deja vu, if you feel like you just heard a story about a Supreme Court justice being uncomfortably close with an incredibly conservative billionaire, that is because you did. Earlier this month, ProPublica published a series of exposés about Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and his conservative billionaire buddy, a man named Harlan Crow. ProPublica reported that for more than 2 decades, Clarence Thomas accepted luxury trips virtually every year without disclosing them, and that Harlan Crow bought a house from Thomas while Thomas was on the court, and Justice Thomas did not disclose it. Up until yesterday, Thomas's excuse here had been that he was advised he didn't have to disclose any of this because Harlan Crow, quote, did not have business before the court. Turns out that's also not the case. Crow's office confirmed to Bloomberg that a company Crow had an interest in, the Trammell Crow Residential Company, that it tried to get the court to accept a case in 2005. Now, the court declined that case, but at least publicly, Justice Thomas did not recuse himself from that decision. And Thomas also did not respond to any of Bloomberg's questions about any of this. And tonight, we got the news from the Senate Judiciary Chair, Dick Durbin, that Chief Justice Roberts has declined the committee's request that the Chief Justice testify about the court's ethics issues, because the justices are all supposedly policing themselves. And we see how well that is going.